All right, everybody. Meteorologist Aaron Tuttle here with you. We had a tornado warning come out here just a few minutes ago. So we're going to cover radar for that and show you what the latest is here and across Oklahoma. So most of the severe weather, by the way, is down south into Texas. But here we have an interesting situation where you can have a low-top supercell. And that low-top supercell, you can have rotation with that because the upper-level low is on top of this, and that would help to cause enough shear to get a weak tornado. And so that's what's been seen out here, reported from the public. And ironically, because the radar beam is so far away, it doesn't even see anything. Like, it's so low, it's more of those cold core funnel type deals. But regardless, there was a warning issued for that. So just so you know, the National Weather Service issued this warning for southwestern Kingfisher into north central Canadian County until 2:30, so it's only got a few more minutes. It was a very short window warning. They normally issue warnings about 45 minutes long. This one, they just did a 15-minute jobber because they knew it wasn't going to last more than a few seconds. But once the public confirms a tornado, they got to issue the warning. So a few minutes ago, confirmed tornado is located 9 miles west of Okarche, moving southeast at 10. So that was the latest with that. Let's see, any major towns? Does not appear to be, kind of in the rural areas. So just want to let you know that was the latest with that. This is the track of it out here, and this is over. If I take off the radar, you can see it's over a lot of farmland here. Few trees, and that's about it. Not even any farmhouses in the immediate vicinity where this tornado is located currently. So that's some good news. But needless to say, this is the official tornado warning from the National Weather Service, and this is across, you can call it central Oklahoma, kind of entering into that picture here, but it's the only storm across the state that's anything like that. If you look outwards, you see some scattered showers up around Perkins, up around Enid, and then way down here around Caddo County, then on down to Dallas-Fort Worth area, some heavy thunderstorms developing down there. But for Oklahoma City itself, now there's no immediate threat, by the way, for this particular tornado. When it's moving southeast at 10, you can't even really put a storm track on it because it's not going to go anywhere. So eventually, the storm, if it even holds together, will move into the Okarche area. That's going to be quite a while from now. Otherwise, it's just going to be some heavy rainfall. Earlier, I had some hail estimates up around, I think it was a quarter to half inch in diameter, so some small hail. So that wasn't even an issue either at the time. Now, we could see some more of these developing storms, though, for the remainder of this afternoon into the early evening before the sun starts to set. And any of those, since they're in the vicinity of the upper level low, could produce these little cold core funnels. So if that happens, we might see a couple of additional tornado warnings come out. These are not like what you would normally see, though, with a tornado. Just want to let you know, these aren't those strong ones. These aren't the kind that do a lot of damage. So I'm going to look to see if there's any reports from this one other than the fact that the public confirmation of it. And this time of the year, and especially late June into early July, we can get these little cold core funnels that'll show up when upper level lows come by. It's just enough shear to kind of get things turning, enough cold air aloft for that to occur. So that's the latest with that one. Let me take a look here at this view. We've got a secondary warning, looks like. Yep, so we were talking here just a couple seconds. This just popped up. So secondary tornado warning for Kingfisher and southwestern Canadian. The original one is going to be set to expire here in a second. Otherwise, this one goes until 2:45, so another 15-minute window for this one. Confirmed tornado located 9 miles north of Calumet, moving southeast at 15. So there is a public confirmed tornado with this one as well. Let's see if there's any markers or communication points. No, just rural areas, southwestern Kingfisher and northwestern Canadian County. So that's the good news here. Now, this is the secondary track, so this is a position of where the new tornado is located. And I got the radar split left and right. You can see there's no velocity data on it. Not but 3,500 feet, by the way. But this is the location where the public sighted it. So that is where this tornado warning centered is going to be. And the track on this little red track is very short, but it kind of gives you the idea that it's going to be over these little open farmland regions. By the way, if we do take a look at that, we can look at this specifically just to show you. Let's see, no one is in the path of this at all. It looks like maybe a little farmhouse here eventually, coming up. So there's one, and let's leave it that way. So if anyone's home there, hopefully they're going to be seeking shelter. Otherwise, it's in a good spot overall, not in a highly populated area. And then we'll see if any storm chasers. Let me find out. Let me put this up. We'll see if there's any storm spotters in the area. Yesterday, of course, there was a ton of them out there, and today, I'm really not seeing any showing up here. Yeah, they're all over Oklahoma City, so they all went home and slept in. So there's not a single storm chaser out here for the storm west of the metro. Ironic. So that is a look at the tornado warning. This is north of the storm, or north of Calumet. This is that particular storm there. Movement on this is just drifting to the, we'll call it southeast and south. So we'll see. We'll probably get additional, as long as it holds together, we might get additional little funnel reports out of this, or small tornadoes out of this from the public. So we'll have to keep with that. The issue with the velocity data is that there is just nothing at, what are we at, 3,000, 4,000 feet. So they're not even mesocyclone driven. So that's a good thing as well. Mesocyclone driven tornadoes are the strong ones that cause a lot of damage and issues like that. So these smaller tornadoes should not be in that type of a situation. Let's see. Yeah, it's a, reading the Weather Service discussion on this one, it's a non-mesocyclone, which you just described, spout tornado. So, interesting. Sometimes you get little freak things that happen, but 9 miles north of Calumet, moving southeast at 15th. So there's no roads even out here to even. There's a county line. Let's see. I've got a farm road eventually coming up 2720, and it'll come up on the intersection of that and 234th Street Northwest. So that's the intersection of where this little circulation feature would go. Just so you guys know. All right. So let me think here. Let's do this. No debris signatures for anything. But we showed you it was really over dirt. It was just over some farmland. There wasn't even any trees in the immediate path. So it wouldn't have anything really to pick up. Alright. No hail, no damaging wind. Just a low top, land spout looking hybrid, whatever this is. It goes in the record books of its own. So I like to call them cold core funnels. The reason for that is if I do a replay here, let me switch this over. Let's do this. So if you'll look careful enough here on the left, if you can picture area of low pressure here, you can see how everything's kind of doing this. You can see how this is kind of moving like this. This is kind of moving like this. So that's your upper level spin in the atmosphere. So underneath those cold cores, like I said, you can just get just enough shear to spin around overall to produce something like this. Somewhat rare. It's not that often, but it does happen. And normally they never touch down. By the way, cold core funnels usually, they hang down from the sky about a quarter of the way, and that could easily be the case with the public reports that's coming in, since no one has a visual, as far as emergency management or storm spotters, to know if it's actually condensation on the ground. A lot of times those little funnels will be reported as a tornado, because the public, I understand you guys, you get confused on what is a tornado versus what is a funnel cloud. And you can have funnel clouds all day long that never touch down. If they don't touch down, they're not tornadoes. But if you can't see the baseline or you're too far away and you see a little cone coming down to you, that's might as well be a tornado, right? So those are the kind of calls that sometimes get called in. And this could be one of those cases. I don't know, but I'm just, from what I see right now, that would make sense based off what we got to work with. So let me see here. My guess is we'll probably see a few more of these pop up throughout the afternoon because the upper low is right on top of us. Now, what I need to caution you on that is, let's see, how's this work? Yeah, this looks pretty good. So let me caution you on that is, with this low here and then drifting in this fashion like this today, you know what that's going to do? That'll take all this activity down into Oklahoma City. So it could be a case where here this afternoon across Oklahoma City we're seeing these little funnels and cold core type deals. Now that'll cause total chaos around here. So just, be prepared. That might be something we have to deal with later on. All right, I'm going to check the Storm Prediction Center. Let's see if anything has come out of them. Okay, nothing. So no talks of any watches or anything like that, by the way. And if you look at the severe weather risk for today, we're in the green, which is basically marginal. Usually marginals aren't even discussed. You kind of focus on the slight, which is the yellow, or higher, which is down here in Texas for today. So what we have kind of around ours is more of a freak occurrence than what they got down there, which is more widespread. Just kind of put that in perspective. So this warning only has a couple more minutes on it. There's no storm tracks really to be had because it's drifting at 10 miles per hour. It's over open farmland. And eventually the storm itself, if it holds together, be heading up toward Calumet. The other one around Okarche is kind of approaching from the west. That one also had a funnel with it at one point. So those are our two situations there. All right. Let's see what else we got. Anything in here? I'm going to take a look upstairs. I want to see what this thing looks like. Yeah, low top. My goodness. So, give you perspective on that. Low top storm. This is basically 25,000 feet, under 25,000 feet tall. Last night's storms are up here around 50 to 60,000 feet. So this is only a fraction of a storm compared to yesterday's stuff. So this is nothing as far as that's concerned. When I look for anything velocity-wise, there is just absolutely nothing. So that's what I'm saying. I know there's a warning, and you guys always take a warning serious, but on these types of deals, there's no wind shear to go really along with that to cause any significant damage. So yeah, that's what I got for you. Even if I look at the debris signature, no debris detected anywhere within this. So not doing any damage, not picking up anything. All right. So I tell you all this stuff just so you'll, lower your anxiety when you're sometimes in the path of these particular storms. That way you know more details, more info. Let's see here. We'll go to this guy. Yep, nothing. So it's a tornado warning from what I probably think is occurring as a cold core funnel. Reports still coming in of past reports of those little guys in this area. They're calling them tornadoes, so I don't want to argue because I'm not there, but I'm just telling you what it may end up being. Let's see. By the way, if you guys are watching down in Dallas, big storms. Oops, let's close that. Big storms going on down there. And along the Red River, some heavy storms. You guys up around Silo and Meade and Armstrong, just Grant, west of you guys, down toward Marietta. So one severe thunderstorm warning down here. Wording on this, probably going to have some hail with it. 60 miles per hour wind, quarter-size hail. So that's your standard, typical thunderstorm in Oklahoma along the Red River. So no tornado threat with those. Really, there shouldn't really be much of a tornado threat at all with any of these across Oklahoma. It's just a freak occurrence up here. Down in Dallas, you guys got some rough stuff developing down here, coming into Fort Worth, and then the whole line northwest of town. So these continue to develop. So Dallas, Fort Worth, be getting some good storms today, probably getting some good hail out of that as well. Give it some time. Some of these are probably pretty big in intensity. And there's some other storms that continue from that all the way down toward southern Texas. But we're concerned with this little boundary right here, which seems to be firing off some storms that are drifting in a southward fashion, like so. And we've had at least one official report from the public, 1 mile south of Omega, of a tornado. So, let's see. This particular location looks like it's just over some farmland, so that's good. Alright, so the new one extends just about to Calumet. Now this is going to expire here in about 3 minutes. They're calling these short fuse tornado warnings. Normally they do 45-minute ones. These are doing 15-minute ones due to the nature of what it is. So I'll hang this for a few more minutes, and then this thing expires and there's no other confirmations, and I'll probably just let it go and get back to doing what I was doing, and then come back on if I need to a little later. Now we start seeing these little cold core funnels pop up, coming into the metro area. I'll be on obviously for that. So they're going to change this to a severe thunderstorm warning and drop the tornado warning, looks like, on it. Looks like that's the plan. Yep. So that's what this little orange box is that just came in. So it's moving south at 24 miles per hour. They're going to leave what they call a tornado tag on it, though, which means tornado possible. So they just, because of the history that this particular storm has had over the last 30 minutes, this expired at 3:15, so it's about a 30-minute warning. Even severe thunderstorm warnings, they normally do 45 minutes for both of those. So to only do a 30-minute warning is shorter than normal time frame. So in this particular case, just so you know how it works in TV, if your guys are flipping back and forth, you're going, Aaron, for a while you're only one covering it. Bob covered it for a little bit, and then they had to go back to the game because they've got the basketball game on sports. So they don't like to cover that stuff up usually on a weekend, or the infomercial that's on Channel 9. So because that's a paid big money spot, so they don't want to cover those up, unless they absolutely have to. So I don't know what Ford's got going on. They had something up earlier. I think it was an infomercial that ended at 2:30. So they've got local time to cover, network time probably to block over. So they'll cover that live as long as there's a threat for a tornado. But since the tornado warning expired, they might go back to programming. But that's kind of how that stuff works. So on a weekend, it's a little different. Typically, because not many people sit around watching TV on the weekends in the afternoons, so usually flood those with either sporting events or infomercials, because there's no other programming really to put on at that time. Because most of us are out here doing stuff, not sitting around watching TV. Because it's the weekend, right? Alright, so that tornado warning's expired. Nothing new has popped up since then. Things are quiet here in Oklahoma City metro area. The upper level low is still off to our north, sagging south. So I'll put this into motion again. We'll show you in case you're just now late coming on in. We got a low basically sitting like this, and everything's kind of rotating down around it like so. These guys are moving up in this direction, and this whole thing will kind of just basically kind of do this more than likely today. Alright, so as that does so, it'll keep these types of storms coming in to the central Oklahoma and Oklahoma City area. Question is, will we get another cold core funnel out of it or whatever? Well, we'll have to wait and see, but that's what's on the docket. As far as your normal typical thunderstorm, nowhere close. Just so you know, this is a weird freak occurrence. If you were to look at the storm, you know, outside your window, you'd be like, that's it? It's that guy right there? It's basically a puffy cloud. And that's how these things look. So here, I'll give you a three-dimensional view. Now remember last night, our storms are way up here, 50,000 feet. This guy's struggling to get to 22,000 feet to even get some hail going. You can't even get any hail going. There's no updrafts in the super cooled area of temperatures, so it can't even produce any hail. That's how sad these things are. But they had just enough spin with that upper level low to get a little something out of the base of it for a little funnel action. So there you go. That's the latest I've got for you for this guy and northwest of the metro. And we'll just have to see how things evolve this afternoon. I guess I'll be working again. Yay! So that's all right. Nothing. All right. One more check here. This guy. Nope. Okay. So that's it. I just want to kind of give you guys an update there, and we'll cover some more if some more of these little type disturbances track our way. So I'll be here in the background just kind of watching stuff. Okay, good. Just saw a picture there. Channel 4's got a couple of these little funnels coming down. Yeah, you can't, it doesn't look like it's ground based, it's hard to see, but there's a little funnel at the top on both of them. Almost kind of looks like a water spout situation. So those water spouts, as you get off the coasts, they look a lot like that. So we'd have to call those a land spout since we don't have any water around here. So those land spout trails are usually pretty weak too. Kind of like a glorified dust devil. So there you go. That explains those two things. All right. Well, there it is. Okay, listen. Thanks for watching. I'll be back on if I need to. Otherwise, enjoy the rest of y'all's afternoon. And if you don't have it yet, get my weather app, ET's Weather to Go. It's free, Apple and Google Play. And become a supporter. Just tap the details in this video and you can see how to support me in that fashion as well. All right, thanks guys. See ya.